Next on Worcester News Tonight, a 9-year-old is being praised as a hero after she saves a fellow classmate's life. Plus, an update to the Kelley Square improvement project, how you can weigh in on the final design. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. A Northborough Elementary School student is being called a hero after helping save a classmate's life. 9-year-old Shaylin Ryan stepped up and stopped a friend from choking during school lunch. Our Cam Jandro spoke with her and her classmate today. He's live in Northborough tonight with more. Cam?
And it was seemingly a normal day here at the Peasley School in Northborough Wednesday, but things took a turn when one of the students stood up from the lunch table because they were unable to breathe. And before things could get even worse, an unlikely hero stepped forward and took control of the situation. 8-year-old Kiara Sylvia was eating lunch at her Northborough Elementary School when she started choking.
I took a giant bite and didn't chew that much, so I'm like, wait, this is not going down right. And I actually stand up and I try swallowing it, but I can't.
Her friend Shaylin Ryan jumped up and started performing the Heimlich maneuver. Ryan was successful and got a piece of hot dog out of Sylvia's throat.
And kind of make like a fist, kind of, and then you put it right above their belly button and like pull your hands towards your...
The 9-year-old helped save her friend's life thanks to some timely training at the town's recreation center.
I went to a class the day before that happened, and we learned how to do it, and we kind of practiced.
For her mom, Lori, the incident's timing was a fortunate coincidence.
When I got off the bus, she started crying.
Obviously, never thought for 1 second that she'd be using any of those tools she learned the following day or anytime in the near future.
Sylvia's mother drove to the school to pick up her daughter, where she thanked Shaylin.
And I went in to get Kira from her classroom, and Shaylin was in the front, and I waved to her, and I said thank you, and she just was as cool as could be.
Both
parents used the same word to sum up Shaylin's actions. Grateful.
Just completely floored.
Very thankful. She was in the right place at the right time.
Now, Shaylin's mother says this story is a perfect example as to why you should teach your children the Heimlich maneuver, because you just never know when you might need it. Live in Northborough tonight, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
A Worcester youth organization is one of 10 in the state to receive grant money supporting communities with some of the highest rates of gun violence. The Worcester Youth Center will receive more than $400,000 from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. The funds are geared toward preventing and reducing gun violence and crime among young people. Executive Director Samuel Martin says with the funds, they'll be able to serve about 100 youth a year, providing them with skills and jobs. He says they'll be outreaching to about 1,000 kids to provide education on gun violence.
Guns and violence has been something that we've been reducing, but it needs to be reduced to zero. And it's very important that we begin to deal with some of the younger kids and kids that are emerging in gangs and so forth, to make sure that they're not, taking up guns and creating a violent situation.
Martin says they're hoping to train kids on multimedia platforms to send out anti-violence messages. The future Kelley Square is starting to take shape. The state presented the 75% improvement plan on Monday. The public has seen the new hybrid traffic circle, or so-called peanut plan. Tonight, designers gave people a look at what will potentially go inside of it. Sasaki Associates is tasked to look for new ways to welcome people to the area. Tonight, they unveiled 2 primary options, and within those, different designs, which include gateway panels, canopies, and sculptures.
The idea is to sort of let people know you're passing through this iconic place that has a really deep history, whether that's the canal or the sort of industrial history of the site. You'll see some options that are a little bit playful, and we're really anxious for people to tell us what they like best.
Now they're looking for feedback before the design is chosen and completed. You can visit the city's website for more information on how you can give your input. A national youth-led political movement makes a stop in Worcester Monday to discuss climate change. The Sunrise Movement spoke to a crowd at the YWCA about how all can do their part to restrict climate change. Co-coordinator Cloud McLaughlin says young people need to take a step towards making it a greener world because they will most be impacted. McLaughlin says the research being compiled shows we only have a few more years until we notice a difference.
Declaring a conservative estimate of just 12 years to continue addressing climate change at the necessary size and scale to address the vast and ever-increasing size and scale of climate change.
The movement's goal is to make climate change an urgent priority. For more information, you can visit their website at sunrisemovement.org. The City of Worcester will invest millions to make improvements to Coes Reservoir and Columbus Park. The city's Parks Department presented to neighbors Monday. They say between completed and planned projects, they've invested nearly $7 million in the area. Some planned projects include the installation of more trails around Columbus Park, the addition of 18 to 20 parking spots near Coes Pond Beach, and construction of a boardwalk.
Columbus Park and Coes Pond the gem that it is for all sorts of different activities, swimming, playground activities, walkways, fishing, boating, really make it the great resource that it is.
The city expects some of the renovations to be completed by June of 2021. The city manager also expects Stern's Tavern to be ready by mid-June of this year. A Worcester man is arrested at Hope Cemetery after attending funeral services for a family member. Massachusetts State Police say 21-year-old Kyosnil Pinero was arrested for allegedly threatening to kill a pregnant woman. Police say Pinero is believed to be a member of the Bloods street gang. Troopers set up surveillance around Hope Cemetery Friday before arresting him. The State Police Gang Unit and Violent Fugitive Apprehension Section had been working to locate Pinero for several days. A well-known property in downtown Worcester is sold for $4 million. The Midtown Mall has been a topic of conversation for years. Tenants say it's a great place to start a business, but the city was worried it was underutilized. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Tenants at the Midtown Mall in Worcester say they are hopeful after the property sold for $4 million.
Doesn't change anything. The puzzle may shift a little bit, but we'll be here as long as we can stay here.
I don't think, they would say, okay, you have to close up and go.
Last month, the WRA gave owner Dean Marcus 30 days to come up with a plan to improve the property. On Friday, he sold the mall and adjacent 5-story commercial property to Felicio Lana, the owner of Northeast Properties.
We're looking forward to meeting with Mr. Lana and see what his plans are. He's indicated he has plans to renovate the building.
Worcester's Chief Development Officer Mike Traynor says he wants to see those plans come into fruition. He says nothing is set in stone yet, but says Lana mentioned raising the rent. Lorna Ellis bought For You Bridal and Prom 2 weeks ago. She says hopefully that doesn't happen and says she's not concerned about the future of her business.
There's always other building and storefronts. If that is the case, then we can always say we can move to a different location. But I think downtown is prime for something like this.
Tenants say they haven't met the new owner yet, but have heard things will remain the same and are excited about potential renovations.
We're in a perfect spot, 5 minutes away from everything. In business, you got to take those risks, and maybe it's a good one, but time will tell.
We reached out to the owner for comment, but have not heard back. In Worcester, Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
A cash register and equipment are just some of the items stolen from a baseball field house at Vernon Hill Park. Eastside Babe Ruth organizers say this isn't the first time someone has broken into the field house. In the past, the league's president has asked city officials to install surveillance cameras or better safety measures. They say it's upsetting someone would break into a place where kids go to have fun.
Aggravating though. This is the second time since November that this has happened, and I believe at least 5 times that this has happened up here.
Worcester police are investigating the break-in. Organizers say they believe it occurred late Saturday night. Doctors at UMass Memorial Medical Center are taking advantage of technology to help fight the opioid epidemic. The program, called Telesude, stands for Telemedicine Substance Use Disorder Evaluation. It allows physicians to consult with patients over video conference. They say there's only a short window of time after an opioid overdose occurs to when someone is willing and able to enter treatment. If a doctor can't get to campus immediately to speak with them, this program will help.
To take a targeted substance use history, for example, identifying any coexisting psychiatric illness, prior treatments, and things that allow us to tailor treatment to the individual.
Doctors say some people may feel more comfortable to share information with someone over video chat rather than direct face-to-face.